for those of you who follow our channel, you may recognise this behind me. It was actually spray painted last time we were here at East Delph Lakes. We have now fished this complex 2 times, once on the back lake. We caught one of the best fishing lakes called White Lips. We've done a supermarket challenge on the long lake and caught a fish from there. We are now back to complete the set, or the trilogy, whatever you want to call it, and fish on the front lake. So that is what we're going to try and do today. We have turned up on Sunday afternoon and nobody is here. That's a good time to turn up fishing. So we've got the lake free to ourselves. There's actually only 2 people on the complex today, but the front lake there's no one else on, so we're going to be able to roam around, see if we can find a few fish. And let's just show you how I go about attacking perhaps a spring campaign on a small intimate water that's got some really wicked fish in. So I'm not going to catch them standing here. I'm going to get this lot pushed around to where I think I'm going to start, and then we'll get fishing. Have had a walk around and not actually seen anything, but we can see everything from here. Another thing, there is a nice big social swim behind us. Me and Chris haven't seen each other for a while, so we're going to have a bit of a catch up, slightly bit of a chilled session, but the fact that there is no one here, we can walk around away from base camp if we see some fish somewhere else. Is it an advantage of the lake being empty? You'd have to say yes, but every bit of disturbance I make here, those fish can drift off somewhere else and you've not got anyone else pushing them back into you by making noise, so you have to be wary of that. I think what I'm going to do is go grab myself some fishery pellet. I'm going to get straight into it, see where we're going to fish, because there's about 1 million spots in this swim that I would want to put a bait. So that's the next thing. I have to grab some pellet. Bag of fishery pellet, and I have noticed some fishery stickers, so I'm going to buy a couple of these, because if anything's going to bring you luck, it's a good old sticker from the fishery.
Flashing it, mate.
Ooh, sexy new tackle box. That does remind me though, to be fair, I am going to give away my old tackle box, and it's quite full of surplus gear that I'm not requiring anymore. And actually James has kindly donated some as well, so there is going to be a competition in this video later on. Perhaps when we have some food, we'll sit down and show you what there is, but let's get these rods out there and let's get fishing. There we go, 2 rods fishing, and a first for us at Water's Edge. We've not used a bait boat before on camera. I'm impartial to what people think of them. If you want to use them, absolutely fine. I don't actually own one, I just borrowed this one because I knew a lot of the fishing was under trees, tight to islands. It's nowhere I couldn't cast, but it just gets out of there nice and quietly, nice and stealthily. And what I said at the start, when you're on a lake on your own, any noise I make here is just going to push fish away from me. So the more I can do not to make any disturbance, why would I not do it? So there you go, I've got no stance, like I said. Drop us in a comment what you think about them. I know everyone's got a bit of an opinion, but for me, I am very impartial. So 2 rods fishing. Apparently it's going to rain a little bit later, so I'm eager to get a little tent set up, a little house set up for us, and see what happens with those 2 rods. We've gone nice and simple up against the island. I think that's a good starting point. There's loads of places to fish. A real simple mix. I've actually got it here. It's just some crushed up boilies, a few of those fishery house pellet. On one rod I've got a yellow hook bait with a little bit of corn involved in the mix. The other rod is just a standard plain hook bait, and then if one goes we can switch over to the other. So we'll go through perhaps rigs in that more detail as we go throughout the session. But oh, there we go, could have been a live bite. As we are sitting now, I'm happy with those fishing. I'm going to get the bivvy set up and see what happens in the next few hours. The second cup of coffee now, as me and Chris are just sat here watching the water. The weather has definitely changed. It's really windy now. Hasn't pushed the rain in, but the temperature's definitely dropped and it's clouded over, so praying it doesn't rain. I can deal with this, I can deal with wind, but if it gets wet and windy it's going to be horrible. But the one thing I have seen is to my right, I've seen a couple of fish make a disturbance just on broken the surface. Not really crashed out or anything, but it has just sort of watching it, and there's definitely a movement down there. So I've moved my right hand rod just down to the right hand side. That's the one great thing about the boat, is you can just move it really quickly, make literally hardly any noise. And I changed the bait over to a white pop-up just because, speaking to James, there's quite a lot of sort of silt, debris coming off the tree, quite a lot of chod matter in here, and I just wondered perhaps a white one might stand out a little bit. So yeah, that's what I've done at the moment. I'm not going to go crazy and move them every hour, but if I see something, I'm definitely going to act on it and move a rod. So that's exactly what I've done. Sit and drink this coffee, try and warm my hands up, because it's amazing how the temperature has dropped actually. But I'm pretty confident, at least we've seen something. That always gives you that little bit of a confidence boost, doesn't it? That is exactly why you stay visual and try and find them. I thought that I saw a couple of fish there, and it's been out there, what, I don't know, 45 minutes, something like that. James is with us, just behind us, and he actually said, in your own words, James, I guarantee you're going to catch one, you said. So there you go, fishery owner says you guaranteed you're going to catch one. No pressure. And you get a bite within 2 minutes of him saying it. There you go. Right, let's concentrate on getting this one in. It feels like it's a nice big. Nice playing them on short 10-foot rods. This one now looks like it's not too far away. Oh, that's awful, mate. He just popped up, I didn't expect him to. This time. Yeah. Get in there. Nice. Pressure's off a little bit. Once you got the first one, nerves settle down a little bit and you start to feel like you're working something out. But that is a wicked snap. Wasn't coming off, was it? Is our first prize, and another immaculate fish. I've not caught a fish out of East Delph that doesn't look wicked. It's a cool little character, isn't it? It's almost like, it's not a linear, but it's like that sort of lateral line down the middle, full of starburst scales, and an absolute pristine condition. So hopefully they're going to start having a munch. But there we go, we are off the mark, and I'm well and truly chuffed with that one. Can never complain about an afternoon bite. And what I've done is I've got that rod straight back on the spot, and I've now whipped in the second rod. And I thought while I'm out of the water I may as well really briefly talk you through the rig. I'm not going to go into too much detail because you've probably seen it a million times before on other videos. It's a Ronnie / spinner rig. They work absolutely everywhere, but I am changing back over to a little off-white pop-up because that's what I had that first one on. Quite often you can find a colour makes a difference, and that's just going to sit there just like that, just above that chod matter that I mentioned, and then that just sits on a standard lead clip for me. I fish 99.9% of the time now on a naked system, so it's a naked tail rubber. and I just use no tubing or lead core, nothing like that. It's just a real simple setup that works absolutely every time for me. Go with what you're confident with, and I think a lot of people now are confident in something pretty similar to that. So what I'm going to do, this rod I'm going to move slightly, not too far. I'm just going to move it 3 or 4 foot perhaps down the island, just try a new little spot, see if we can find a cleaner bit of ground. But we're off the mark. It might be getting a bit colder, but spirits are high. Food time, and no takeaway for us this time.
I'm very disappointed.
Chris is disappointed, but trust me, this is going to be good. And this is how you cook chicken fajita pasta on the back. Peppers and onions, cooked chicken. Add your fajita mix, give that a stirring. Creme fraiche next, heat that through. Add some cooked pasta and mix together. Heat up. Chicken fajita pasta, done.
Review time.
So, chicken fajita pasta. Let's have a little try this. Last time, I was treated to chicken fajitas. And this is the pasta version.
Expert review time.
A bit of chicken as well. Good.
Score?
You've done well again, mate, to be fair. I love it.
Can you remember what you scored last time? No, I can't.
That is a solid 7.8 out of 10.
I'll take 7.8, that's hard.
7.8 out of 10.
I'll take it.
More points if we had a bit of cheese. And if it was a tiny bit warmer. But, very, very good.
I'll take it. 7.8.
Okay.
Well, we just finished our pasta, and I'm glad I left the rods alone, because the other rod has gone now. So 2 spots that we've got going, so that is a big plus. I am going to concentrate on this one. Chris is doing a bit of multitasking at the moment. He's got a camera cradle in his arm and a light in the other, because we're still eating and we hadn't quite got the camera light ready. So apologies if it's looking a bit ropey. Then blame the cameraman. But yeah, this one is putting up a bit of a fight, but hopefully very shortly we're going to have another of these East Delph Carp to show you. Number 2, get in there. Wow, that was close to coming off. I think that was close. Let's get that rod out of the way. It's a nice little one, but it's a chunky one. Boy, he doesn't like that light. I can't blame him, if I'm honest. I wouldn't like to come out in the dark and have a light in my face. But there we go. Happy days. You take that. Second bite. We weren't really prepared for it, so I think perhaps what we should do is not keep this one out too long. It's happy to grace the bank with its presence, but we'll get ourselves sorted for the night, get the headlights out, get the lights on properly, and then we better get the rod back on the spot. And let's hope the third fish we can get something a little bit bigger. Thank you, buddy. coffee in the morning, always the best one for me. I just absolutely love getting up nice and early. Not only do I think the fishing comes alive, but just everything else does as well. The wildlife, the temperature warms up, just makes you feel a little bit happy to be out, doesn't it? But a little bit of a, well, I say quiet night. We did have one fish, only a little one. We didn't get him out, we just unhooked him down the side and just slipped him straight back. And then we got up nice and early and got the rods refreshed back on the spot. So I know there's always that flip side and that question, do you refresh them or do you leave them when you think it's like popular bite time just as the sun breaks? For me, I lay in the camp of I always refresh them. It does depend what lake you're fishing, but if it's not like ridiculously hard and the fish aren't ridiculously spooky, I would like to get them refreshed, get them on the spots, and then I'm just really confident that a morning bite is going to come. So they're all done, they're sitting out there now. I'm going to sit and watch the world go by, watch the water in case we need to move, but I'm pretty confident where they are. I'm going to enjoy this and just soak it all in. Well, that for me indicates the importance of freshen those baits in the morning. Just gives you that confidence. And it's been about, what's it been, an hour?
Oh, probably,
an hour
yeah.
Perhaps, yeah. And we are playing a fish. He's diving for this snag down here. Whee! Calm down, come on. Oh, he really wants to get to my right hand side. Right there, I managed to steer him out of it. Whew, that was a bit of a hairy moment. I hate it when you start feeling something great. But we should have another fish to show you, and always good bite time, isn't it? When the sun comes up a little bit, warms up the water slightly, they're always out for a little bit of a munch. So I'm going to concentrate on getting this one in, and we should have another one to show you. Oh, scaly ones. Nice. There we go. Oh, look, that shows you catching on white pop-ups. Look. There we go, glistening in the morning sun that's breaking through the trees. Not the biggest carp we're going to catch, but again a really nice looking one, fully scale patterns. It doesn't get much better than that for a morning bite. We are just ticking the fish off on that one spot in particular that's producing most of the bites on the right hand side. I think we're going to get another one, you know, so I'm going to get this one slipped back, and then what we'll do is we'll run through that little giveaway that we mentioned earlier in the video. As I mentioned earlier in the video, we are going to do a little giveaway. I treat myself to a new tackle box, so I've got my old one here that we're going to give away, and I've left it full of just bits and pieces to get someone going. It's got like the old little tackle, the F-boxes in it, full of lead clips, it's got leads, meth feeders, some rigs, all sorts of bits and pieces. James kindly donated some extra tackle and a little rig box, so there's kind of something in there to get you going, you know, get someone in their carp fishing journey. And ideally, I'd really love this to go to either a newcomer or a junior. Like me and Chris fished at a really, really young age. We know how hard it is to get into it. And if this little lot here could help a youngster or something like that get into the sport, it really would bring a smile to my face. So there you go, nothing complicated to win it. All you need to do is either already be subscribed to the channel, if not, hit that subscribe button and subscribe, and then just drop us a nice comment below and we'll pick a winner at random. Like I said, hopefully it can start someone on their journey. You never know, they might be making videos soon as well. So let's sit back, see what the next few hours bring, and pray for one more carp. gone again, and I know now what the secret is at East Delph. You need to get James to stand in your swim permanently, because he came round for his morning walk around, stand here for about a minute and the rod's gone. So I have to pay you for 24 hours, James, to come stand here. But same rod again, down that right hand side. There's clearly a few fish down there. The wind sort of swung towards us, but still slightly pushing down there, and I think that's probably got something to do with it. It's just nice picking up the odd fish as and when they're happy to. It's mega playing them on these light rods. I know I said it earlier, just a little 10 foot, it's nice and soft. When they get underneath the rod tips, we actually test it, it's about 6 foot right underneath my feet here, and they dive deep, but it's nice just to be able to take it steady. You don't need anything crazy. Certainly got some energy. There we go, with the little East Delph mascot, Ruby the dog. He's going into the shot, and another cool carp. I think, having a little chat with James, we've been slightly unlucky with the size. I mean, the first one was probably the biggest, which I'm going to guesstimate was roughly getting towards the £20 mark. You're right there, Ruby. He's getting in this thing. But all the others have been wicked. They're really cool fish, and I say it every time, they're in proper good condition as well. So there we go, what the plan of action is now. If that is what we have to end on, I'm more than happy with that. But I'm going to get this one slipped back. The slow pack away is definitely going to happen, and you never know, there's always a chance of one last bite. Well, there we go, that is us done. 5 fish, more than happy with that. We got out, had a good time fishing, and more importantly, spent a bit of time as a couple of mates having a good catch up again. Fishing's always a bonus, isn't it?
Something nice.
That's the first thing I'll ever say nice to you. But no, in seriousness, so if you want to come somewhere, good fishing, decent fish, then check out East Delph. That's the trilogy complete. We've caught from all lakes across the complex, some pretty special ones as well. So I'm sure we'll be back in the future doing, I don't know what, but something, I'm pretty sure. But for now, that is us done. Don't forget to enter that competition. We will of course be back very soon with another video. Give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you again on the next one.